home ownership. We're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit Rocket.com. Rocket. Own the dream.
In a constantly changing world, nothing is more important than protecting your home and loved ones from harm. For millions of Americans, that reassurance starts every day by arming their Simply Safe home security system. Whether heading out or locking up, that simple press of a button gives you greater peace of mind. Just visit simplysafecolin.com and save 50% on a new system. That's simplysafecolin, COLIN.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Isaac and Suk here with Ken and Donnie, the advocates. People don't know that it's actually not going to cost them a dime to use you, because people don't know that.
Yeah, it is surprising how few people know that. People that do what we do, injury attorneys, get paid. It's something called contingency fee.
I think it's great because it establishes trust right off the bat with the client. Our financial interests are aligned. And then, two, it provides access to justice for people that can't just dish out cash every month and pay a lawyer.
You need more than a lawyer. You deserve an advocate. Advocateslaw.com.
Spring is here. Time to get outside. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the lake, or taking the RV on a road trip, Battery Exchange has the power to keep your adventures going. We stock batteries for power sports, RVs, golf carts, and boats, so you're always ready for the next ride. Stop by today and mention code BXT10 for 10% off your entire purchase this month. Power up for spring with Battery Exchange. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I...
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, the 8th seeds for the NBA playoffs on the line tonight. 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami are 1-point favorites. The winner gets the Cavs in round 1. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, it's the Mavericks, 6-point underdogs at the Grizzlies. That winner faces the Thunder in the first round. Coverage right here on The Fan starts at 4 o'clock after an abbreviated prime time. Round 2 of the RBC Heritage, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head Island. And first round leader Justin Thomas, he's back on the course. He is 1 under on the day through 6 holes, 11 under overall. Andrew Novak, your leader in the clubhouse, After a 6 under 65, he is 9 under, 2 strokes off the pace. Russell Henley also at 9 under par. Mackenzie Hughes, Siwoo Kim, and Scotty Scheffler all at 8 under par. Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, Maverick McNeely, Keegan Bradley all at 7 under par. The Mariners continue their road trip. They start a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu starting for Seattle, Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV+. The Mariners start the day second in the AL West, 2 games back of the Rangers. And the Winterhawks in Everett to face the Silvertips tonight for Game 5 with the series tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. Game 6 tomorrow night back in Portland at the VMC. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
Meringatang is going to be a thing.
You're not coining anything new.
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
I'll throw some monkey sounds in there and call it good.
The old Danny Meringue pie.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
The Fan.
Good afternoon. Hey, welcome in. Happy Friday. How we doing? Everybody doing good?
Doing good.
Yeah,
fart hammer.
Yeah, no.
You're fart hammering?
Yeah.
Hammering farts over there, Russ?
It felt like a Fart Hammer Friday.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow. All right.
Okay, I like that.
That's something.
Feels like a road construction week.
Yeah.
If you're driving around in Newburgh right now, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to everyone out there.
If you're living in Newburgh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It has been hell. I have left earlier and earlier every day this week, and I have got here later and later.
Yeah.
Every day.
To quote one Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you.
Trust me.
Damn, Russ.
I don't want to be in my car any longer than I have to be. It's already a long drive here.
Oh, man.
It took me an hour and 20 minutes to get here today.
That's kind of bananas.
Yeah.
That's a long time, dude.
That's a long time.
I was like, what
That's a
in
long
the
time.
hell? And it's never for anything like, that's not true. There was one, 2 weeks ago, and there was the accident.
Yeah.
That turned traffic around both ways. But other than that, there hasn't been anything other than trains and construction that has ever delayed me.
Trains and construction, the downfall of man.
I did have to joke with one Ryan Buckley the other day because they are currently staying with his in-laws because they have to do some work inside their house. I think removing asbestos and radon stuff and things like that. Yeah.
I've definitely got that in my walls.
And so he talked about how I think they found like a 4-inch long centipede, millipede, whatever. And so I said, "Oh, where's the house at?" He's like, "Oh, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere in Newburgh." And I said, "Oh, it's probably about 2 blocks from Danny's house."
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
I mean, look,
no, it is
like everything.
If you drive through Newburgh, you know that like where the houses are at. Like there's just like 2 sections, one on the north side of 99, one on the south side of 99. It's like,
yeah, just text. At least everyone in Newburgh can walk to everything. # 2 blocks.
Yeah, no, you can. It's a walk in town, man. You go down there and the sun's out. Everyone's walking.
The wild thing is, that's where the drive-in movie theater is.
It would be fun. It would be funny if people just started walking in, like throwing blankets down.
Just a little transistor radio. Here we go. See.
Well, at least now they have it on an FM broadcast instead of AM. Right?
Oh, is it on FM now?
I believe it's on FM now. Yeah.
I live 2 blocks.
Yeah, you should
go.
go.
I have not been there.
It's a good time
since I moved there.
Yeah, it's like a little piece of Americana.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've been there, just haven't been there since I moved out there.
Back up the 4Runner, put the tailgate lift up, and get the kids back there.
That's the thing is, I just have I don't have my truck anymore.
Yeah.
So I've just got the 350Z and I've got the Fusion, and it's like neither.
So you park in front ways and you do a little necking, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what the what the kids used to do?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Takes me back to that 70s show when they went to the drive-in and Eric and Donna fell off the hood of the car in front of everybody.
All right.
It definitely becomes a backseat session because we got the big center console.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying the ergonomics of it all. It's a big sedan, so it's got that big stupid center console.
That's Danny's portable casting couch.
Absolutely. It has another name, but
This show's already
12:05, and we're
Side
off
of the mountain.
Oh, come on. We're heading into almost summer.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling good.
It's Friday.
Not. I
It's
mean,
beautiful outside. We got
half-
sun.
Yeah, half the
It's gonna be like
office.
75 today.
Half the office got the memo to wear the same freaking shirt today.
Yeah. Man. We got retirement.
Everybody's wearing an AFE T-shirt.
No, we got a retirement shindig for old Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
And not the wrestler, our former program director, Jeff
Yes.
Austin. And
If you ever find your place in Cobb County, Georgia.
yeah, that's right. If I walk in and Cooley, our GM, and young Jake, our video shorts producer, we're all wearing very similar shirts. Like, and you stood us in a line, and it's the
like-
transition. Yeah.
It was the transition lenses of shirts.
Golly.
Yeah.
Very matchy.
I almost wore
But
not
we're
a
dudes.
blue one, but
We're
a
dudes.
black one.
We're dudes, though.
So-
I mean, there's very few options. You know, it's a blue shirt. Mine's got polka dots. I don't know what Cooley's has on
I think
them.
it was pineapple.
What was the show that was the one of these things is not like the others? It wasn't Fraggle Rock or something, but it was some kid's show.
I don't know, man.
Schoolhouse Rock? Schoolhouse
Schoolhouse
Rock?
Rock.
maybe?
Schoolhouse Rock
Might have
sounds
been
right.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah. But so we have three of us kind of all wearing similar shirts. Then you have two bros in the sales, one of them being Luke Anderson. They're both wearing very similar Hawaiian shirts today. Like, this is going to be a problem.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
This is going to be a problem. I'll just take my shirt off.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll Burt Kreischer.
No, I like it.
Big Boss Man's retirement party.
I like where this is
Tell you
going.
what, just in a sign of unity, I'll do it too.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about, Rust.
Yeah.
Show up, shirts off.
Sign of unity.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
It's that kind of party.
Yeah, we'll go busting in there like the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else be like, oh no.
Pretty much.
Belly dancing.
There's a lot of this belly.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jeff, we hired a belly dancer for your retirement party.
Here comes Rust.
Yeah.
I think it was Segura's show, Tom Segura's show. My wife had on the other day, and they do a segment in their show where they roast whatever's trending horribly.
Oh.
There is a male belly dancer.
What's wrong with that?
Everything.
Oh.
Everything was wrong with it. Like, he was wearing like from Aladdin, like the Jasmine pants.
Oh, yeah, it's part of the attire.
Yeah.
This was white.
These hips don't lie.
And, oh no, they were telling a lot of lies.
Well,
A lot of lies being told.
live your truth, follow your dreams, right?
Even had the little bangle like finger symbols.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of the gig.
Oh, buddy, it was bad. It was
right.
really bad.
So what's worse then, the male belly dancer in that attire or Rust back in college doing one of the philanthropy projects for one of the sororities that they called Anchor Splash, and for our synchronized swimming event, I was in a two-piece bikini.
Oof.
I'd sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's comedy in that.
All the rest of the
There's
dudes, they had
comedy.
one pieces.
Yeah. There's
But
comedy
you
in
went
that.
two piece.
I went two-piece.
I like it.
Because why not?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at this male belly dancer now.
It's probably the one I'm thinking of.
Well, I mean, you're choosing the life of belly dancer, though. Yeah, I mean, why are we surprised by that?
I thought we did not kink shame on this show.
Oh, we're not. I'm,
Yeah,
look, I'm
don't
not.
kink
I'm not
shame.
kink shaming. It was just horrendous.
Well,
I didn't say, look, if that's your thing, go for it. But
It's just not your thing.
yeah, I was just like, no, hard pass,
yeah,
hard pass.
it's a whole deal.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Boy, when you type male belly dancer into Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of shudder to think what will come up there.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a dark place.
I'm going through a journey.
Does it ask you if you want to adjust the age settings?
Kind of. A little bit. We got some blurred photos here.
That's not surprising.
We're not going to unblur those.
No, no,
we're
no.
gonna leave those ones
I love
properly blurred.
I love on Instagram when it's like graphic video follows and it's like see why, and it's like, you have to like, take a look at like who it's from before you don't just automatically click that.
Here's my question though: did the male belly dancer live in Portland?
It is a at least 30% chance.
I'd probably go higher.
Yeah.
I'd probably go.
I
I
was
think
trying
we're
to be
like
nice.
we're like at 60-40 at a minimum.
Yeah.
It's probably like we're living in that 50-50 world.
Where is the next most likely place to have them to be from? Because
You're saying it's
not
a
Seattle.
white male belly dancer.
White belly dancer.
White male belly dancer.
Wisconsin.
Portland would be number 1. I'm going to
I
go.
feel like Florida's on the
San
list.
Francisco.
San Francisco's definitely up there.
New York.
I think San Diego's a sleeper in all of this.
Austin.
Austin, that's a good one. Austin, Texas is a good one. I'll throw New Orleans in there.
Oh yeah,
I'll throw New Orleans in
That's
there.
a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll go.
Anywhere north of the Mason-Dixon line that isn't a major city, like one of the biggest cities. Like
No.
Just in terms of a place that's apparently a super popular bachelorette party destination these last several years.
We're
Yes,
not
Nashville.
No, I'm going with and this is going to be very specific. I'm going Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York.
That is very
Yeah,
specific.
you went like borough and street.
I think Dusty's got a story.
Well, it's just it's like the hipster
Capital of the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 5 blocks of it.
That's where they had that's where they got roasted for having like the best barbecue ever, and it was like dry meat with a side of disgusting looking barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and that was I remember that one, and it was
Yeah.
you can always tell barbecue by the plate it's served on.
Yeah.
And if they try to do the wax paper and the steel tray, no. That is an immediate no.
Don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well,
Good luck
we're
steering out of that.
off and running here. We're off and running.
I did tell you about 30 seconds before we went on air. I feel like this one's going to be a weird one.
Yeah. Can I throw this one out here too for the white male belly dancer? Ashland, Oregon.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a given.
I think Ashland, Oregon, probably very high.
That
on
guy had took
Actually,
a semester in
I
butt sucking.
know a few dudes that probably they definitely dabbled in belly dancing.
Well, and I'm going to guess that that population probably picks up a little bit right around the Shakespeare Festival time.
No, it doesn't. It actually. Here's the thing.
That's more maiden.
Here's the thing. When the Shakespeare Festival in Ashland ramps up, and it's like, this like late May and into the summer months, boy, I'll be damned if that town doesn't class up a ton. It is like, it is when the Shakespeare Festival goes away, and they're like,
all right, we
what
can
do
stop
we do
pretending.
now?
Yeah, and then it comes out to the freaks come out
And,
at night.
and the tourists leave, and then it's like, okay. Yeah, now we're getting weird.
When all the bugs come back out from under the baseboards.
Yeah, no, that's full butt sunning season.
I'll be damned if that's not my favorite time of year in that city. You know? You just take a look around, you're like, whoa.
probably about like Sturgis once the biker rally clears out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're sitting there and you're going, it's late March. That person is just walking down the street wearing fairy wings. And Halloween, that was months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe they just came out of their slumber. I don't think that's happening. But it's
Darkness retreat.
Yeah, you're just sitting there going, whatever. It becomes normal. Just like that is a normal occurrence.
Is it?
That sounds about like Hawthorne too.
Like a lot of people wearing, right.
Yeah.
A lot of people wearing like costumes, and you're just going, I don't know where you're going or where you've been.
How cutthroat is the crystal business down there? Not the meth.
No. Yeah, of course I know that. You're talking Klamath Falls there.
Yeah.
When
and Medford.
The crystal business. Look, it went viral when I was it didn't go viral, but it made national news. There was this thing called the Southern Oregon Meth Project. That's very specific.
Yeah, no, it's
very specific.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like they really narrowed it down, and that was that was the first campaign where they did like the before and after photos of people. Like that was something I was like, whoa, like so.
I think it's okay to talk about now. What year is 2025? Yeah, it's okay to talk about now. 20 years ago when.
Oh, I don't feel comfortable with where this.
No,
is going.
no, just security clearance stuff. 20 years ago, the DEA was using military assets in North Dakota, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana, like surveillance equipment. This is like early like predator drones, to find like meth houses, and in North Dakota, Southern Oregon, and Idaho specifically.
Really?
Yeah, there you go. But I working on the intelligence side, a lot of that intel would get fed back through
interesting
our office before it'd be disseminated, because there was things in there like we had to classify before it went out to the general public for dissemination.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just funny that you bring that up, but I've probably seen pictures of or aerial reconnaissance of those areas that they were probably looking at and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you just opened up a wormhole in my brain there of like, oh yeah, I remember that.
It was a whole deal, man.
Yeah, no, like it was a big deal out in North Dakota, because there was so much land. There's just nothing out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was full on Breaking Bad. They'd set up like trailers in the middle of nowhere and just cook for days.
Well, except you could see that trailer from 600 miles away because it's so flat.
Yeah, no, you can stand on a beer can and see Montana.
Well, and honestly, it was a dig at Klamath Falls, but it also it's pretty barren over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
no,
they would go.
You are in the middle of nowhere. You just go further into the middle of nowhere.
It's not wrong. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Don't know how we got there, but we did. We went there. We sure did.
Yeah. What a long, strange trip it's been. This first segment.
I like strange trips. Those are my
Only
best
2 hours and 43 minutes left, folks.
Let's go.
Let's buckle up. All right. We got a lot that we got to get to today. We got some NFL draft nuggies, notes, newsies. We had the Portland Diamond Project info kind of come out right at the end of our show yesterday.
We'll dive a little further into that.
That was cool. The NBA, they may be a race to expansion.
Oh, weird how that happened once the Celtics got sold.
Yeah, yeah. And then, oh boy, he might have dropped the ball on his retirement, and that is a professional tease. But where we start this bad boy off, the NBA playoffs get going this weekend. We got one more day of playing, and I cannot tell you how allergic I will be to the games tonight. But we got some great series.
We do. Like the ones that are already lined up. Yeah, no, there's some good stuff in there.
Actually fun basketball, and a lot is going to be at play here. And one of the things that we talked about yesterday after the bouncing of the Sacramento Kings was, look, there's already rumblings that Domantas Sabonis is going to be available this offseason. Who are the guys that could become available in these 4 playoff matchups that we already know right now? Danny and Dusty on the Fan. All right, the NBA playoffs get started in earnest tomorrow. Full day of basketball. Danny's just going to be on his couch in his underoos all day long. 10 a.m. the first.
Yeah.
First
No,
game.
I'm definitely parking in front of the TV. I'm going to get up early, mow the yard, and then we're parking in front of the TV.
All right,
I just picture him sitting down on the couch like Al Bundy, hand in the pants.
I mean,
crack a beer.
What's wrong with that?
I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. I
not
said that's what I picture.
I got the I've got
I
the
would do the
sectional
same.
with like the longer one that you can put the legs up.
Oh, the chaise?
Yeah.
there you go.
So
yeah, that's good. That's good living.
It's my wife has taken what they call the cuddle seat of the couch. It's like the elbow, as it were. It's like a bigger, wider spot. I got banished to the other side.
See, that's what, my son has done that.
Mm.
Where he's like, "That's my spot." I'm like, "The hell it is!
Everything is mine."
How much you pay for that?"
Yeah.
See, here's the thing: is wherever I am is the cuddle seat.
There you go.
I'm slightly uncomfortable.
Why'd you come sit on Uncle Jeffy's lap?
Oh God! All right. Wow, took that one step further, didn't we?
Oh, you're really surprised by that? Habitual line stepper Danny over here. He crossed a line, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, how did this happen?"
See, the key to this is
How
if you
did
do
we
it
ever
so
get
much
here?
that it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted.
Rust over here acting surprised. But we have 6 matchups that are already set, and 4 of them get underway tomorrow in the NBA playoffs. You got Bucks Pacers at 9 a.m., Clippers Nuggies at 12:30, Pistons Knicks at 3 o'clock, and then 5:30 you've got T-Wolves at the Lakers. Okay, and then Sunday. We don't know the other matchups, or like Mavericks Grizzlies will play tonight. The winner takes on the Thunder to get beat by a billion.
Which I think it might end up being the Mavs.
And then you get the Heat Hawks against the Cavaliers. What?
So the Grizzlies have to decide: do they want to give up a draft pick or not? Because if they lose this game, they will keep their draft pick. It's lottery protected. But if they win this game and go get summarily executed by the Thunder, they will give up a draft pick to the Wizards as part of the Marcus Smart deal to dump him.
Well, it's not like the Wizards will do anything with that. But anyways,
but no, I'm saying
they're already going to have one.
It's actually
well,
tough
John
choice.
Morant's on the injury report,
And they're already going to have one pretty good pick too. Those Wizards.
Yeah. Well, John Morant is on the injury report because he's got that ankle that he rolled, and those never get better in 2 days.
No.
They usually get far worse. But whoever's going to win that game tonight is losing to the Thunder. And then the other 2 matchups that are already set, Magic, Celtics, and Warriors, Rockets. My question is, every season we see this in the playoffs, where a team gets bounced, there is a panic, or it's a that come to Jesus moment that every franchise has to go through, which is, all right, do we depart with either a very good player or an all-star caliber player and hit the reset button? What teams are we looking at right now that are in that position?
some of the last couple title winners.
Yeah.
It's the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets.
Boy, if that happens in Milwaukee,
yeah, I mentioned on the
you
podcast
are looking
last night,
you're looking at a situation where Damian Lillard is probably going, boy, was it worth it?
So if you've heard me mention, a potential big storyline that could come out of this offseason, Giannis Antetokounmpo is that guy. And all week at Hoop Summit, a half dozen, 8, maybe 10 different front office executives. Hey, have you heard this noise about Giannis? Hey, are you hearing this noise about Giannis? And then I started getting texts about it from other players in the league, and I was like, oh, this is real. Like this is not just like wish casting by other GMs, which happens all the time. They're trying to put counter intel out there, and hopefully it circles back to somebody's agent. Like, what are you shopping my guy? Kind of a deal.
And this isn't the first time it's happened with Giannis.
And they have no path. They have no picks. They have no assets. Middleton's leg basically fell off, and they had to do something there, and that was basically it. They've missed on all their picks. Like all of the guys that they look to draft and all the things they look to do, It just hasn't worked for him.
Brother, it is really hard to draft at the bottom of the first round in the NBA.
But if you miss over and over and over and over again, it's all of a sudden you've got nothing. Like, think about their draft picks. Like Marjon Beauchamp, AJ Johnson, like you go down the list of guys and they just haven't, like, they've actually done well on two ways.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have done well with those guys, which is actually kind of surprising. But you look at the Bucks and Giannis in particular. I love Giannis, like one of my favorite players of all time. He's not selfish, but he does love the adulation. He does love the individual accolades. Like, he does like prioritize that, but not above the team, but it's something that matters to him. It's very, like, we've talked about this off air. The idea of Giannis being like an afterthought, averaging 31, 12, and 6 in his most efficient season ever is hilarious and dumb. It's not because the Bucks aren't good and he's not good. It's because he's in Milwaukee. And all the noise is out there that he wants to go to a big market and get the love. He's got the MVP. He's got the title. He's got all the things. If you don't think he looks at Luka Doncic going from Dallas to LA, Luka's the number one selling jersey in the league. Like, that matters to Giannis. Like, being like that loved.
And that's the thing that has changed dramatically from Giannis from when he first came in. He was just happy to be in the NBA, and where he's at now, I mean, he has been professionalized and Americanized over the last few years, because especially once you win a title, because you get that title
and you just want more.
For him, it was, all right, now I can exhale and get that title gorilla off my back. But from there, it goes to, all right, how are you going to do it again? And they went out, they got Dame, and it has not worked at any turn, because in large part, everybody just got too old. They all got, whether it's Chris Middleton or it's Brooke Lopez, like they aged so fast.
And that's the nature of that beast. So I don't think it's likely that it happens, but the fact that it's this loud already, like, alarm bells are ringing around the league.
That would be a monumental shift in the National Basketball Association. You mentioned the Nuggets, though, and because they're not trading Jokic. That's for damn sure.
There's two guys on that team.
Where do they go? That after Rust with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the 8th seeds for the NBA playoffs on the line tonight. 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami 1-point favorites. The winner gets the Cavaliers in round one. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, it's the Mavericks 6-point underdogs at the Grizzlies. That winner gets the Thunder in round one. Coverage right here on The Fan starts this afternoon at 4 o'clock after a truncated primetime. Round two of the RBC Heritage, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head. And Siwoo Kim is 8 under par on the day through 12 holes. That puts him at 11 under par. He's 1 stroke clear of first-round leader Justin Thomas at 10 under. Then you've got Andrew Novak, Russell Henley. They are 2 strokes back at 9 under. Mackenzie Hughes, Scotty Scheffler, 8 under par. Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, Maverick McNeely, and Keegan Bradley are all at 7 under. The Mariners continue their road trip, starting a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu starting for Seattle. Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV+. The Mariners start the day second in the AL West, 2 games back of the Rangers and the Winterhawks. In Everett tonight to face the Silvertips for Game 5. The series tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. Game 6 tomorrow night back in Portland at the Memorial Coliseum. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com.
503-864-6326. That is the fan text line. That's how you can be a part of the show. So let's party. We got a good text here. We were talking to Giannis and maybe his want to get out of town. This text says, let's also just admit Giannis does not know how to play basketball with Dame. It's pretty clear it's not all about their age. There is an element of that where it's not a copacetic maturation with the two.
Giannis, like basically every great pro, once and he won a title, that reinforces even more, is going to play his way.
Mm-hmm.
There has been hesitancy to fully embrace what should have been Stockton and Malone 2.0.
Yep.
I mean, Giannis, like I can pull up the data. He just
and even a better version of that because of Dame's range and ability to shoot,
and Giannis's downhill force,
the gravity that he has.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about what should have been the best pick and roll combo maybe in NBA history.
Yeah, and look, it's not just those two. I mean, in Giannis, it has a large blame to be placed, right?
But there's also Middleton in that.
Middleton, and then also look, stability matters, and they've had zero stability from the coaching and front office, and it's just been a quagmire there.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate because like when that deal got made, like I've mentioned it before, like Dame had told me so many times the two players in the NBA, and it's not shocking. They're the two. I mean, to me, they're the two best players in the league. He's always like, if I could play with any guy in the league, it was Giannis and then Jokic.
Well, and that's where we go back to, this isn't the first time we've heard this with Giannis and the uncertainty into an offseason, because there were the rumblings of, all right, well, Giannis wants out. How do we get him to Portland? That was a few years ago.
That's like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago? Yeah.
All right, you said Denver, too, in their path. Like, if Giannis wants to go, you ain't going to stop Giannis from going.
Yeah.
But Denver's got a more difficult situation there in that they need to hire a head coach, they need to hire a GM, and it will not be the star player of the team leaving.
No.
Because Nikola Jokic ain't going nowhere unless they hire Nico Harrison.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
Then maybe you can trade him for Zion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That oft-injured star who played in New Orleans.
It wouldn't be Zion. It wouldn't be Zion. There is not a good comp for this, but it would have to be in a large market. Maybe it'd be like trading Jokic for Harden.
Bam. Bam's the one.
Bam.
Defense matters.
Don't put that into Heat fans' heads.
Yeah, I know.
See, the problem with you and Heat fans, you hate each other. You think like them.
Yeah.
You think like them way too much. You are already there.
Know your enemy.
So what do the Nuggets do then? And what does that look like? Obviously, everybody kind of points to Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon.
It's not AG. It's Porter Jr.
Yeah, well,
and
I was going sliding scale of importance of that team.
Well, yeah, no, but like AG wants to be there, and everybody loves AG. Like he's a stabilizing force. But
one of the greatest beefs that Nuggets fans had with Calvin Booth as the GM was his reluctance to get away from Michael Porter Jr. God, that sounds familiar. At least they got a title out of it, though.
Yeah, but not only that, you're already seeing, I won't say it's Porter Jr.'s agents, but it's also not Porter Jr.'s agents writing or feeding writers about how the Nuggets certainly won't move Michael Porter Jr. because he went to Missouri just like the Kroenkes. They definitely can't do that. Like there's an alumni.
I read something that there's a legitimate thing where one of the junior Kroenkes said he will not be moved. He will stay here.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean.
We'll see. But also like it's so easy to blame Russell Westbrook, and it's fun to blame Russell Westbrook, but like he's a minimum signing. Like it's not that big of a deal. Having your starting point guard just be a pain in the ass has been a problem for them. And Jamal Murray has like, look, I don't think I've ever said this on air, but there is something about this Canadian basketball group. Almost all of them have a problem. Almost every single one of them has some sort of issue.
RJ Barrett.
Dylan Brooks. Like SGA is basically the only one. Kelly Olynyk has dislocated like 3 shoulders of other people, not his own.
Yeah. I was going more to like some of the character and characteristics
Oh,
that
yeah.
they hold.
Yeah, like
But Kelly Olynyk with the oft-injured tag,
Yeah.
sure, you got that.
well, no, injuring other people. Like
Yeah.
but you look at the Canadian roster, and it's just full of dudes where you're just
I
like,
forgot he yanked on Kevin Love's shoulder.
got somebody else too. Who else was it? I can't remember who it was.
Hmm.
But like you just look at that Canadian, and like kind of makes me look side-eyed at Shaden a little bit. Like, like Delano, love Delano, weird dude, weird, like just like not weird in a bad way, but just a different cat.
Yeah,
just talking to him like he's just he's a jazz player, man. He's
Canadian, eh?
Just all like, but Jamal Murray, like if you talk to people around Denver, you talk to people around the league, they're like, he got his money, he got his ring. He comes into camp out of shape every year, plays himself into shape,
and then gets hurt.
Yeah, and it's just like, and there's just stuff behind the scenes where he's just kind of a pain. And it's like, you have the lowest maintenance star maybe in the history of the league.
Yeah.
In Nikola Jokic.
And look, the problem is that, all right, say you move Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray, you're not getting the return of guys that are going to be equal to them because of the baggage that they do come with.
Well, here's the thing. Like, let's kick that giant domino. Giannis asks out.
Yeah.
Dame is not staying in Milwaukee. Full stop. Full stop. He is not staying in Milwaukee. If you're the Bucks and you,
That seems kind of newsy.
Look,
that seems very newsy.
He's not staying there. He's not staying in Milwaukee.
Russ does not seem entertained by that newsy.
Ron, are you paying attention? Nope.
Yeah. That's kind of a very newsy thing he just said.
Yeah. But it
I was
is
over here reading about Gail King and the space trip.
There you go. But you look at that. Let's kick the domino over for Giannis, and he goes nuclear and he asks out. If you're the Bucks, don't you want to kind of like get a little younger and maybe figure some things out? What if you swap point guards with the Nuggets?
Okay.
Do you think Jokic and Dame could work? Because they're in a title window. They're not trading.
Do I think Jokic and Dame would work? Yeah, the guy who plays by sonar.
Yeah.
In Nikola Jokic, yeah, I think he would work really well with Dame.
And if you're looking at that, if you're the new Nuggets GM, you're not trying to slow build this thing. You have Nikola Jokic in his prime. You are trying to win right now. So you're not trading for young stuff and picks and trying to figure some stuff out. You're trading for a veteran ready to go.
Jamal Murray, 28, Dame, 33, turns 34
and
this summer.
Even you look at this season with the exception of the blood clot, and hopefully that was what was the issue with his calf overall. He was still, 26-7?
Yeah. Pretty good.
He still got it.
Yeah.
And like that's something I'm like, that probably makes sense for the Bucks too.
Yeah.
You get a guy that is good because you got to find the salary if you're moving Dame or Jamal Murray. Like it's big money. So that when I talk about how this season could like completely go up, that's the thing. It's like you could see monumental stars moved, next rung stars move. Like there's a lot of stuff that could happen in this, but I'm really interested to see if the Clippers, like I'm picking the Clippers against the Nuggets.
All right. Yeah, I am too.
It's the only team in the Western Conference that can play them straight up because they have Zoo.
Okay.
Like that's who else in the Western Conference has a big like that, with the exception of the Rockets with Steven Adams. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the list.
Two teams that they're going to have to go through. We have a good submission on the fan text line for Canadian with non-baggage, Andrew Nemhard, Aurora, Canada.
Great dude. Also a little crazy.
Yeah. No issues.
No, look, it's like it's. I genuinely wonder if they feel like second-class citizens because they're not hockey players.
Oh, yeah.
So, like seriously, because it's just not as big a deal there.
Yeah. I'm looking at his Twitter. He doesn't have anything weird on there.
No, his teammates love him.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. I was looking for like a crazy tweet.
No, he's just he's an intense dude.
Good dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so the Bucks and the Nugs could be the two teams that have stars in the big dominoes that could fall in the wake of playoff matchups.
And the Pistons are a team that aren't looking at that in that way. They're looking at it the other way. I believe the Pistons are favored right now to be the team that would land Devin Booker if he became available.
Oh, look at that. All right. Well, NBA playoffs get going tomorrow. We're going to have a lot more on the NBA playoffs and kind of what it's looking like moving forward in these matchups and what to look for in them as the show goes on. But coming up next, he's one of us, and he admitted it. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. He's one of us. He's one of us.
One of us. One of us.
Malika Andrews sat down with Luka Doncic. And Luka and I don't have a lot in common. I'm going to just throw that one out there. But one thing that we do have in common is that sometimes when you get angry, that phone will let it fly. And he told Malika Andrews that when he found out that he had been traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers, he threw his phone. And it broke. And she said, "Oh, so do you still have that phone?" And he said, "Yeah, it's right here." He showed her his broken phone. He's one of us. He's like, I don't want to go put myself through that BS of going and getting a new phone. Yeah. So he still has cracked screen.
I mean,
he's rolling cracked screen.
I feel like Luka, while a man of the people, gamer himself, just a chill dude, I think he has a runner to go get a phone for him.
Well, he does. He hadn't used him yet.
Yeah.
He has not used that runner yet. He's still walking around with cracked screen like everybody else.
Beard in one hand, hook in the other. Hard to deal with a phone.
Yeah, if now you want to tell me the Apple Store or Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, you want to make it a better experience in those shops? Booze and maybe hookah.
Yeah, see?
Couldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt. You're in there for a while.
It would get your customers letting go of a few more dollars, probably.
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
I tell you what,
the Genius Bar, those guys look like real geniuses when they're slanging more than just a cell phone and a laptop. You get those beers in there,
dude. Those customer service is not at the highest of level at those places. Like you walk in, and they're just kind of like you'll get like two people that'll look at you. And then you make eye contact, and they go, "Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that." They look down, act busy, act busy, act busy. Can I help you? And you're like, "Yeah, you can."
That's what I came in here for. That's what I came in here for.
Can I tell you one of my big beefs with the phone stores and those things and the coverages and such?
What grinds your
you
gears?
can.
So, you get the protection plans on your devices, your phones and your tablets and whatnot, right?
Hell yeah, brother.
No.
Why is it that when you trade in a device and get a new one, because they all make you go through these third-party services, right?
Yeah.
But AT&T is like, this is a third-party service that we work with. Why is it that you, when you then go and trade in your old device, get a new one, why doesn't that service automatically transfer over to your new device? Because I had one a while ago where I went in to try to get something fixed on my phone. They're like, "Oh, well, this phone isn't covered." It shows here the one that is covered is basically the phone that I had 2 phones ago.
Yeah, because you're buying it for that phone. They've always been pretty clear that you're buying it for that phone.
It's a monthly charge.
You're still getting charged?
It's a monthly charge.
Wait, hold on.
In conjunction with the cell phone bill.
Are you
But it's a third-party charge.
But are you still getting charged?
Yes, because it's in the phone bill.
For 2 phones ago?
It's in my AT&T bill.
Well, yeah, that's not good.
No, exactly.
That seems very scamtastic.
That is.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Now I got to check my phone bill.
I have not thrown my phone since I had the Nokia brick phone. And back then, like I joke about this, but it's absolutely true. I don't know why I did this. You can say that about a lot of things. But I get a few in me, and I'd be like, this phone is indestructible, and I would literally throw it into the wall. Just like, because this is like early cell phone period. Like this thing is like, it was so indestructible. It literally traveled the world with me, and nothing that happened. It was like unbreakable. I remember I threw it at a wall once, and it literally took a chunk out of the wall, and I was like, yeah, this thing's unbreakable.
I was in high school. I had the Zach Morris brick phone.
Yeah.
So the next phone after that, remember it was like the first ever flip phone.
The Razor?
No. It was like, it kind of looked like the brick phone. It had like a big back to it, but it was like a gray.
Yeah. I got
It's a little tiny flip.
Yeah, that was, I remember.
It was the antenna that pulls out?
Yeah.
It was a Motorola, but not the Razor.
I remember when my mom was like, I guess I'll try out this mobile telephone. And we go into the store, and the guy's like, can't break it. And I remember being there. I was like, I don't know, it was like 92, so I was like 8. 93, so I was like 9, 8 or 9, and this guy, I just remember him just dropping it, like lifting it up above his head and just dropping it over and over again. See, doesn't break. And I was like, whoa. It doesn't break.
It's like Uncle Buck when he gets in the house and he finds the china, says, "Oh, unbreakable, huh?" and whaps it against the fireplace mantle and it shatters.
He was just like, can't do it, and just dropping it over and over. And then he's like, watch this. Calls the store. I was like, oh, sold. You just sold this to an 8-year-old. My mom was like, that's neat.
Did you guys see that?
My mom's like, don't plan on doing that. But I vividly remember that was his sale pitch. And just like, nope, it will not. And it didn't.
That Nokia brick phone, man. 2 things you could always rely on.
Yeah.
It would never break. Snake would always
Snake,
work.
Dude. Snake rocked.
Would always work.
Yeah. All right. Well, Luca's like us, man. He has broken phone screens too.
It happens.
You know?
I got a crack in my protector right now, and I feel dirty about it.
I hate that. And then it's just an ordeal because I got like the warranty on the protector, and so like I just got to take it in.
Mm-hmm. You get the expensive one.
Yeah. But like I'll get a new one.
Oh yeah,
but they'll put it on.
But you have to go deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to call me a psycho if I tell you that currently I have 0 case or screen protector on my phone?
So this
raw dogging it.
This is the first phone I've ever had a screen protector for. I've never cracked a screen on my phone. Everyone's like, "Oh, don't say that out loud." I'm like, I've never cracked a screen.
Yeah,
Now,
knock on wood.
My sister has gone through, I want to say 9 or 10 phones.
Mm-hmm.
She, I remember she went to Costco once and she drove away with it on the roof of her car. And she's like, "Can you help me find it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I walked up and down the road and I literally found her phone on the side of the road. It had been run over like 13 times.
Yeah.
It was no longer good.
Or early on when my wife and I were first dating, I had and so this tells you that this is, early like 2000, 2001.
God, it's the 1900s.
Yeah, right? Almost. I had my phone. I was at work one night and she went out with some friends. She's like, "Can I take your phone with me just in case?" I'm like, "Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem." And she came back later and she's like, "Well, we drove off it on the roof of the car and we don't know where it was." And anyway, we found the intersection that it was in and we tried to call it. And right as the screen lit up,
somebody ran it over.
Like if you wrote that in a movie, people would be like, "That's dumb."
Yeah.
But that's how it happened. Yeah.
Those parts of movies, they infuriate me. I'm just like, the movies where just everything keeps going wrong. But you know what that is? We're going to see that. This is the next wave of the great comedy movies, because obviously the one thing that made all of the old comedies great was they got into predicaments where they couldn't communicate with people, and that's where hilarity ensued, right? It's all going to be people's phones break.
Yeah.
Like people's phones break. That's how it's going to
like
happen.
horror movies now, it's like you have to make sure that like they're in the woods and everybody had to leave their phones at home. Like you have to like set that table now.
I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a comedy movie, and it could be really good if, like, in New York City, all of the cell towers go out for whatever reason. I mean, like, you can pick how that's going to happen, right? But a night out in New York City and nobody can communicate, and just how people have to adapt to what it was like in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
That would be a good movie. I'd watch that movie.
Watching somebody in their early 20s or younger try to have to navigate the world without a week without their cell phone.
Dude, watching me try to do it now.
But you know, like we have something we can fall back on.
Yeah.
We can do it.
That's right.
We know some phone numbers still. We know some cardinal directions. We know the names of streets.
Directions I'm still good with.
Yeah.
Still good with that. I don't think young people can drive to places that they know very well anymore.
And know the names of the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing better than, all right, you're going to be driving, you're going to see the red tractor, and then after that red tractor, there's going to be 2 more, but it's the yellow one you turn left at. You're like, got it. And then it was like, oh, 1, 2, boom,
Yep,
yellow, got it.
We have lived in our house for 22 and a half years.
Yeah.
And so I've taken a lot of the same turns several times a day for the last 22 and a half years. There are, on one street that you turn into our neighborhood, there are 3 different like street cul-de-sacs. I couldn't tell you what the hell the names of those streets cul-de-sacs are. Like I have a vague idea of like the handful of names, but I couldn't tell you which one is which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I drive past them every day.
I can
times.
still tell you my high school girlfriends, Air Force girlfriends' phone numbers.
All right.
As weird as that is. I can't remember to take out the trash my wife asked me to, but I can remember those phone numbers.
You never know when you're going to call her again, you know? All right. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. Hey, we start hour number 2 with the response to nepotism next on the Fan.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on the Fan, the 8th seeds for the NBA playoffs on the line this evening. 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami are 1-point favorites. The winner gets the Cavs in round 1. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, the Mavericks. They are 6-point underdogs at the Grizzlies. That winner faces the Thunder in round 1. Coverage right here on the Fan starts at 4 o'clock, immediately following an abbreviated primetime. Round 2 of the RBC Heritage, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. And right now you've got first round leader Justin Thomas is even par on the day through 11 holes, keeping him at 10 under par. He's joined at 10 under by Siwoo Kim, who is 7 under through 14. They are 1 stroke clear of Andrew Novak and Russell Henley. Among those at 8 under par, you've got Mackenzie Hughes and Scotty Scheffler, and a huge logjam at 7 under par, tied for 7th. Among them are former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, and Maverick McNeely. The Mariners continue their road trip. They start a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu on the bump for Seattle. Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV Plus. The Mariners start the day second in the AL West. Seventh would be something. 2 games back of the Rangers. And the Winterhawks in Everett to face the Silvertips for Game 5. That series tied at 2 games each. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. Game 6 tomorrow night back in Portland at the VMC. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
It's not your problem, Doc. You don't have to mix up in this. That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
Go ahead. Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
I'm your Huckleberry.
The Fan.
Hour number 2, Danny and Dusty with you on this Friday afternoon. Thanks for being a part of our day, letting us be a part of yours, whether it's on 1080 AM, 99.5 HD2, the Odyssey app, twitch.tv/1080 AM The Fan, or the YouTube party people, youtube.com/1080 AM The Fan. Party on, party people. Let's do this damn thing. Jeff Rust has an or today at 2:30. So, America's favorite game show, or coming up an hour and a half from now. Deion Sanders took the podium and addressed.
When doesn't he?
Yeah, he's on the podium all offseason, too. Yeah. We're always hearing from Deion.
Look, I mentioned this the other day when we were just doing show prep stuff of like, Stewart's doing a really good job of staying in the limelight.
Really, his dad's keeping him there.
Yeah.
For sure. But tomorrow, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders will have their numbers officially retired at the University of Colorado. In the stadium, there are already photos of their names and numbers embossed, engraved in the side of the stadium already. And look, Travis Hunter, we talked about this earlier in the week, more than deserving. You win a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
You have the season that he did.
You get to be goated.
That guy is a legend there. Shedeur is a different animal. Yeah. In that, although he was the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, he will be drafted highly in this month's draft. There are more deserving players with far greater resumes. Yes. I read a list of 7 guys that I put together in 5 minutes.
And 5 of those guys are no doubters.
Who were
like no
multiple-time
doubters.
Multiple-time All-Americans, who were multiple-time All-Conference, won national titles.
Were very successful in the NFL.
Let alone won a bowl game, right? But Shedeur is at the center of a lot of the conversation because one of these things isn't like the other of the numbers that are retired at the University of Colorado. Deion addressed that.
The only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. It's been so many things accomplished at this university expeditiously. It's been unbelievable. And I think we should be appreciative. We should be thankful. We have a room full of wonderful people that covers us. And I don't know if you all were in this room 2-3 years ago. Very few. Okay, but it's a new day. We're doing things a little different. I think the training table, I think the food is better. Nobody said nothing about that. It's a whole lot of things that are brighter and they're better because someone stands on business and makes it that way. And he is resilient when it comes to it being that way because everything we do is to improve everything for us. I think it was hot in here one time. I said, let's turn the darn air conditioner on a night game, right? The next time we came in, what happened? I think about those details because it don't just benefit me. It benefits what? All of us. So if all of us are happy, all of us should be happy. I'm not going to be critical of you because I didn't get what I want. I don't get down like that. And the root to all of it is personal. Sometimes we got to get out the way, man, and just be thankful for our people, others.
Okay,
So
No.
Shadur Sanders is responsible for the air conditioning in the press room and the food of the.
No, that's him. Yeah, he really, the art of deflection was great in that one.
I mean, that was tremendous because he deflected like there's that's fouling off 12 straight pitches stuff.
Deion went from the only reason why we're talking about this is because his last name is Sanders, which is true because the only reason why his number's being retired is because his last name is Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, full stop. That's it. Like, to think of, and he does make a very good point in that the expeditious turnaround of the Colorado program is impressive. Both Shadur and Travis Hunter played a great role in that.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean that you get your jersey retired, though, because Shadur, it was more Deion who did the things like whether he wants to take credit for the training table improvements or the air conditioning in the media room. It's Deion who's doing that. And he has a lot of gravity. And I've said this since the day he was hired. I hope he is successful there because I appreciate a disruptor in anything.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who comes in and says the way that things have been done, go and make waves. Like, yeah, it's good for everybody else to stay on their toes and to think, okay, what do we need to do differently? It's not for every situation. Like Deion and what he has done at Colorado, living through the portal, turning over the roster, whiffs and home runs. He's really only had 2 home runs. Everybody else has left that program, right? And the 2 that stayed are Shadur and Travis Hunter, who came with him from Jackson State, right? But if he were to try to do that at Alabama or Michigan, then no,
non-starter.
It's not working
No,
because
the
you
boosters
don't
would have
need
said
that
no.
there, right? And it would be a symbol of dysfunction there. The turnaround has been incredible because that was the dregs of college football. That Colorado program was terrible.
Yeah.
But when you think of what you're opening now is, and this is the cautionary tale for the people being like, this is for notoriety and to get people to, to catch attention of recruits. So what you're saying is that if you're good under Deion Sanders, your number's going to get retired?
Yeah, I mean, you're lowering the bar.
And I say good because the greatness of Travis Hunter should be celebrated.
Yes.
His number should be retired. I don't even have a problem with retiring Travis Hunter's number this weekend before he even gets the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Shadur is a different story. And the entire reason why his number is getting retired is because he is Deion's son.
Yeah.
Like, you can acknowledge that, man.
I mean, he kind of
and he did.
started to.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's also, I don't know if you guys have already touched on this because I'm over here podcasting. It's the quick turnaround. We haven't even hit the NFL draft yet.
Yeah.
And they're already doing it.
Travis,
if you look at all of the other Colorado players that their jerseys have been retired years afterward.
Well,
Rashawn Salam's came after he died.
Yeah. Rashawn Salam, his number should have been retired. It took a very long time. But 2 of the other numbers that they did have retired, they were actually really quick turnarounds. One of them was in the spring following his final season.
Okay.
The other one was
mistaken.
The other one was in November of the season that he finished. But that was in 1938 and in 1963. Since then, they have not retired many numbers. The Colorado football program has a long history and tradition of great football players. And if you're going to acknowledge the turnaround is great and the notoriety that has been brought to the Colorado football program, do that. But this is not a program that has never had great success, and they've had some great damn football players that have played there who that have done a lot more in the college ranks than Shadur Sanders did.
Yeah.
Right? Including like the guy who is near the end of my list of guys, but Darian Hagan, who won a national title for him, was an All-American for him, was a Sporting News National Player of the Year there.
Michael Westbrook?
It was Michael Westbrook. Like they have incredible. Chris Naoni was phenomenal there.
Nate Solder.
Daniel Graham, Nate Solder. Like they have multiple time All-Americans that have played there. And those guys didn't get recognized.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be happening if Deion Sanders weren't the coach and if Shadur Sanders were not that player.
They went 9-4 last year. It'll be interesting to see what Colorado looks like moving forward.
I'm.
Do we go down under 500? Do you think?
No, the Big 12's not very good.
Are they going to be very good?
Have you seen what's happened at Kansas State?
Yeah, with Avery Johnson.
No, everybody.
Oh,
Kansas State is like they're. It's not quite as bad as Cal's running back room
or Baylor basketball,
but it is like they have a lot of guys in that portal. Yeah,
I wonder how Travis Hunter feels about all this.
Oh, I bet he's fine with it. He understands it.
I get it, but it's like maybe it's just me. I'd feel a certain kind of way, even if it's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's my dude, and I'm sure those guys are tight. I would still kind of there'd be something in the back of my head like, dude, I just want a Heisman.
But the thing is, like in this discussion with what people are pissed about, is it kind of nice for him maybe that he's the third wheel on the outside looking in, and being like this? At least this discussion isn't about me; it's about them.
Well, I mean, the thing is, nobody's saying Hunter's not deserving. I mean,
no.
You go down to Memorial Coliseum in L.A. and you see the Heisman Trophy jerseys that are in the stands. Like, I'm not immune to that. Like, if you win a Heisman, that's end of story. There's one of those a year. You get your name up on the wall, baby. That's the award in college football. You win that, there's no arguing that. Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of wondering. It's like, does he like? Is there some part of him who's like, man, this is kind of supposed to be a cool day, and if everybody's looking at this the same way, there's probably something there.
And instead, the quarterback is also getting it, who has a record at Colorado of 13-12.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Oof. It's not great.
Even the Mariners are like, boy, that's pretty average.
Yeah, it's 54%.
Oh, by the way, Avery Johnson has not officially entered the portal, from what I'm seeing, but they are already saying Avery Johnson to Tennessee gaining steam.
How many lives does Avery Johnson have outside of basketball?
Yeah. What was his nickname? The Little General?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Little General. Tennessee, North Carolina, Texas Tech are the top 3 potential landing spots for Avery Johnson.
I wonder if he goes to Tennessee for less than $2 billion.
Maybe.
It would
no,
be,
I'm with
Ainge.
4. I'm with Ainge. Whoever you bring in, give him 4. Whoever you bring in, give him 4.
That's the kind of pettiness I strive for.
Yeah, just like, okay. Perfect. All right, 503-864-6326. That is the Vancouver, or no, it's not anymore. It's the fan text line now. Fans live in Vancouver, in Portland.
There you go.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Newburgh even. Yeah. All right,
2 blocks from Danny's house.
I will say, it's very difficult to get 1080 in my neighborhood because there's like a row of telephone poles and like internet, like everything that distorts it pretty much the whole length of the road.
All right.
There you go.
Sweet.
Little Newburgh talk.
Not a great signal in Newburgh.
All right.
No, just on that street.
Oh, okay. Yes, apologies. For 2 blocks?
1 block.
1 block.
1 block.
Half of his commute to most places is ruined.
It's a lot of static.
All right. Hey, we got news on the Portland Diamond Project yesterday, and it was positive news. It was great news,
Indeed.
and I love it. The NBA is saying we may be faster. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
When it all goes crazy and the thrill is gone, the days get rainy.
All right, we got great news on the Portland Diamond Project's future yesterday with a Senate approval by a wide margin. It was 24-6.
24-5, I think.
And that is good for funding in a jock tax, which means that Major League Baseball players that come through Portland, the tax that they get taxed for just being a professional athlete, it went from $150 million to $800 million, which will help build a stadium. That's great news. Great news. This doesn't come from our pockets, comes from the athletes that are going to be playing here, and over time, that money will go towards building a big league ballpark, and that is huge. Salt Lake City also has a very detailed and good group going right now where they've got a plan and land and they're full steam ahead too. And Major League Baseball in their expansion, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, not if. And Portland is now in a good position to be in alignment for getting a new team. The NBA, they may be on the same track, and it may be coming even faster.
Oh, no way.
Adam Silver says that he expects expansion momentum to pick up this season, in this summer, and it sounds like the idea of Vegas getting a team, Seattle getting a team, it's going to happen, and we may get an announcement sooner rather than later from the NBA.
It's weird. I didn't hear anything about Mexico City in any of those comments. After hearing so much about Mexico City. No, it's weird. It's not actually that. It's Seattle and Vegas, which everyone has known for 5 years.
Well, yeah, and he was on the McAfee show, and he said, look, we're beginning the process of exploring the opportunity to expand. We're looking hard at it, and there's no doubt there's been interest in Seattle and Vegas. We're looking at those markets. And then he said, and others. But ownership groups in place, arenas already in place. They could expand and have those things up and running in short order.
Yeah, and in Seattle, you obviously have Old Key, now Climate Pledge Arena, where they actually spent more restoring and retrofitting that building than it would cost to build a new building. They spent $2 billion.
Yeah, but the location
is phenomenal.
Is why you weren't going to get somewhere in a better location than that, and you're probably going to spend $2 billion anyways building the stadium these days because that's just kind of the way that stadium costs are now.
And I've been in that building 3 times over the last 3 years now. It's beautiful. Like if you've never been to Key, like when you walk by, it's right next to the Space Needle. It's like 200 yards, 300 yards away. It's in the same area. They have this giant like food court building that they've built right next to the arena. Everything is within walking distance. The transit around there's pretty decent. It's not as good as like the football and baseball stadiums or literally next to the train stations, but they pretty much limit traffic around there, so it's easy to get to by foot. But the building itself is recessed into the ground, and so there's not that much above ground. But when you get inside, the pavilion inside is beautiful. Now the underbelly of the building, like when you get in like the ramp, because the buses go underground to drop off the players at the loading dock, stuff like that feels 70 years old. Like that part of the building feels old as sin. But when I went into the locker room for the Kraken, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It is state of the art. Everything in that building underneath and the game arena experience is state of the art. It's beautiful.
So that's an easy fit for the NBA. In
Vegas, they've got kind of the same thing, but in a smaller stadium in T-Mobile. But there are plans to build another arena at the north end of the Strip.
Yeah, and that was by somebody who he used to be a part of MSG. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think he was helping lead the original part of it was the Sphere.
But a temporary home is not an issue.
No,
especially in a new arena.
Yeah.
That can handle it, and
it's
if you
designed
have to play
for
them for
basketball.
a year or two, you're good. But the NBA expanding coincides with the exact same thing that Major League Baseball is waiting on. Well, not the exact same thing, but the two big barriers. One was Boston needed to sell.
Yes, they wanted to see what the price was so they could set the rights to buy a new franchise, and I've heard that the rights fee will be somewhere between $5.5 and $6.
Yikes!
So that's the rights to buy the team.
Now, also, tinfoil hats can be removed on one aspect. He shot down pretty definitively any ideas that the Dallas Mavericks would move to Vegas.
They're not going. It is a financial boondoggle.
Yeah.
What they wouldn't throw away $6 billion. So for those that aren't aware, the franchise rights fees are not a part of BRI. That's basketball related income. They do not have to split any single dollar with the players. It is dispersed among the owners. So let's just say, let's go on the low end. Let's say it's $5.5 billion for each team. That is $11 billion that would be divvied up among the current 30 owners. And the reason why this matters is because they signed that 11-year media rights deal. Adding those two teams, like that was thought of as part of this process. Those teams will now get rights fees as a part of that deal, which means there's less of the pie of the rights fees to the other 30 teams. So they have to make up that revenue somewhere. And if it's $5.5 to $6 billion, it's going to cover that barely.
Does that affect the ballooning of the salary cap then too? Because if the money isn't getting distributed to each club as in large amounts as projected, then the salary cap does not go up in the $100 million Wemby number.
No, that part of it's built in and baked in as far as the natural rises and raises as it and again, this is why it matters. That's why you need to have the rights fees at a certain level for it to make sense. Now, there was a Board of Governors meeting 2-3 weeks ago in New York, and I heard coming out of that loose talk of this stuff. So it's been going. Now, I've talked to others that have been there and reported on what's going on there, and they have said, for the most part, they have not talked about this. And actually, they don't, while they need 2/3 of votes to actually make this happen, they don't actually have to convene and come together to do this. They can just be like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah. Also, as it pertains locally, there is a lot of the rumblings have been once the NBA expands, that's when Jody Allen and the Vulcans kind of say, all right, time to pack up shop and finally sell this team.
I mean, you're looking at somewhere between $300 and maybe $400 million in cash.
Because, and here's the important part of that. When the expansion happens and two ownership groups come in, there will not be another expansion
for a long time.
Maybe ever.
Yeah.
Right? So then the value of each individual franchise then goes up because of the scarcity of the availability of teams.
Yes.
And also should make people feel a lot better about the Portland Trailblazers, even though you shouldn't be worried about them ever leaving. But it is, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, there was a bit of a scare tactic that was used when that press release came out about Phil Knight and Ron Wyden wanting to keep the Trailblazers in Portland. They're not going anywhere. Teams are not moving anymore.
Yeah.
Now, you might have a team change conferences, which not only might, it will happen.
Yeah.
When they add 2 to the West, somebody's got to go east. And then that will be a bloodbath between Minnesota, Memphis, and New Orleans because they all want to go to the East. I mean, your ability to get the playoffs, and it's like, oh, it kind of comes and goes. It's been this way for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, so you mean the great Northwest Division team, the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah. And it also, adding Vegas and Seattle will cut Portland's travel down exponentially.
It would be great for the Blazers.
I mean, hell, I might actually go cover road games in Seattle.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
All right. Well, that's good it's good to hear. And we are finally careening down that path where Seattle gets basketball back again.
And they deserve it.
They deserve it. They absolutely do.
All right, coming up next on our worst day on the web, if you've been paying attention at all to what has been going on in the news, there were some women that went to space technically, and Katy Perry was one of them. And by God, this may be the most fake, vapid, senseless response I've ever heard to a question in my entire life. We'll get to that next. But first, here's the Big Kahuna with Sports Center Update.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the 8th seeds for the NBA playoffs are on the line tonight at 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami are 1-point favorites. That winner gets the Cavs in round 1. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, it's the Mavericks. They are 6-point dogs at the Grizzlies. The winner there faces the Thunder in round 1. Coverage right here on The Fan starts at 4 o'clock after a turn and burn edition of Primetime. Round 2 of the RBC Heritage Classic, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. And first round leader Justin Thomas, he is 1 under on the day through 14. That puts him at 11 under overall. 1 stroke clear of Siwoo Kim and Russell Henry. Andrew Novak all alone in 4th place, 2 strokes off the pace at 9 under par. You've got Scotty Scheffler at 8 under. Among the logjam at 7 under par are former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, and Maverick McNeely. Over on the Diamond, the Mariners continue their road trip. They start a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu on the hill for Seattle. Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV+. The Mariners start the day second in the AL West, 2 games back of the Rangers. And on the ice, the Winterhawks in Everett tonight to face the Silver Tips for Game 5. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. Game 6 tomorrow night back here in Portland at the VMC. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest with Jason Swigart is back. Saturdays at 8 a.m. before the Sinner and the Saint on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Well, that sucks.
Well, Katy Perry and a group of women technically went to space. I can never remember the layer of space that they have now labeled as breaking the barrier and actually going to space, but it's not like we sent them into space. Like, I guess technically they did, but you know what I mean. They went up, they came back down. This was all part of the Amazon-backed, what is the name of it? Blue Origin. That took off from Texas and flew for 11 minutes. Again, like this was not a long. This was like the roller coaster. Like it's the tallest roller coaster in the world, but yeah, like the roller coaster reached like the highest point for 0.2 seconds and then came back down.
I think it'd be pretty kick-ass to go on that.
Oh yeah, look, it's a very expensive roller coaster. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, buddy.
But as everybody is wont to do with these kind of things, there was a press conference following this, and this is what Katy Perry had to say. And by God, just play it.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space for the future. And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride, it wasn't a destination, it was a journey, and it was a supernatural one. And my journey has always been about love and belonging. And I think that we have all felt that sometimes we weren't worthy or we didn't belong in certain ways, no matter all the accolades, no matter all the studying, no matter anything. And I think today we all said it, like, we belong here. Mm-hmm. This is where we belong, and we feel very sure of that. So I think that you'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch, because you're leaving all the love behind and you're surrendering and you're hoping that you get another chance to love them again. And so when you come back down, you're like, oh, I get another chance and I'm going to do it.
Oh my God, now I'm crying. Okay.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Like an improv conversation. An improvisation.
The first thing that came to my head was that sounded like Derek Zoolander talking. It was completely senseless and void of any real content, or it was a real life scene of the Billy Madison. We are all dumber
for having listened to you.
Yeah, that's what came to my head.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Your
My
life
friends who died in a horrific gasoline fight accident.
Yeah. Like, your life doesn't matter until you spend millions of dollars going into space for 6 seconds.
Yeah, she sounded like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wow. Coming out of the darkness retreat.
That was Aaron Rodgers post-darkness retreat, post-ayahuasca. In the journey, if you've seen the Aaron Rodgers documentary, his after ayahuasca, yeah, that's what Aaron Rodgers was sounding like. That was something, man. Wow. Katy Perry, Gayle King, Kyrene Flynn, Lauren Sanchez, Aisha Bowe, Amanda Wynn.
I knew one of those people.
Gayle King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, the Lauren Sanchez, is she like, is that's not, she's somebody's like girlfriend slash.
It sounds familiar.
Is that?
Oh, that's
is that
Bezos.
Is that Bezos?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Bezos.
Yeah.
It's Bezos.
It was his spaceship.
Yeah.
Partner.
I guess
that's
it was his. That
thing.
made me wonder though if it was his spaceship or if Katy Perry hung out with Elon beforehand and got a hold of the Special K.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was something though.
I mean, what was hilarious. What came out of all this was the memes, and Wendy's absolutely roasted her when Katy Perry's back from space, and their response on Twitter was, "Can we send her back?"
Wow, Wendy's
Wendy's always comes with the heat.
Their social team has always been great,
Mm-hmm.
and they will roast you.
Yeah, the nuggets aren't the only thing spicy there.
Hey-o.
Yeah, there was another one that was when we said sent women in STEM, this is not what we meant. It's like her holding like a little daisy.
That's mean.
I think it was The Onion that had the line of space returns unwanted Amazon package.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's brutal, dude.
Like you think about the context of the world right now, and this is how you know this is definitely the what is the price of a banana to a billionaire kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like for her to talk about this in this vein,
there's
so far out of touch.
Yeah.
Like I know, I mean, the reason they did this was a PR stunt for the space travel luxury cruise line of space for Jeff Bezos and Amazon. That's what this is. Like him and Elon are both doing this.
If that's what it does to you, I don't want to go. I've always wanted to go to space. If that's what it does to you, I'm out.
Look, I've been high enough up in the atmosphere that I needed an oxygen mask, but like I didn't, and I could see like over like the horizon, like into some like the sky looked crazy type stuff. I didn't come down talking like this.
Well, I mean, you may not be the poster boy for
Yeah.
being normal coming back from that because
You know, just saying, like,
but you
don't
didn't
get me
come
wrong,
down doing that.
I definitely got off and was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like that was pretty cool. Like that, yeah. But I didn't think, oh my god, I'm leaving it all behind.
Yeah. That's quite the trip that she went on. There is a space themed album coming out from Katy Perry.
Probably.
And
well, she did do that song with Kanye. It was kind of a band.
I'm
Is
here
she
to
gonna all of a sudden become like a David Bowie fan?
I'm here to tell you.
Is she gonna go Ziggy Stardust on us?
I can wait for that album
Yeah.
to come out. Like I can definitely wait for it. I'm willing to wait.
If you could go to like, let's say you do this trip and you could like do something in space for 5 minutes, what would you do? Be like the first person in space to smoke a bowl? Like what are we doing here?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Russian cosmonauts have done everything that you can do up
Right.
there. I'm feeling like they've gotten a little loose with the rules. I don't like.
They tend to not like fire.
Yeah, I was
on
gonna say
board.
like
Well, which
smoking
makes,
a bowl,
which
like
makes burning a
that's-
bowl kind of
that make
tough.
that
Well, that's what I'm
very
saying, like,
dangerous.
you know.
And plus, the whole vacuum of space makes that tough too. Don't you need oxygen for fire?
You just
Yeah,
set it
you
on
do.
fire.
Yeah, you do.
Well, but can you get the fire without the oxygen?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, I mean, but
Well,
you're
just take a gummy up there.
There we go.
I mean, that'd make that trip a trip.
Well, I think somebody may have done it.
Mm.
It'd be a whole lot cooler. If
I'm not
you
sure
did.
who did it, but I think somebody maybe have done it. We need to stop sending celebrities to space.
Hey, Katie, I got a little thing of Gushers here for you. Why don't you eat those first?
I look at this and I'm just like, what the hell, man? Is there anything redemptive actually?
No, and it's
like,
the fact that they all think they're doing like something special for
Yeah.
mankind.
And it's
Well,
like,
are you
you're
serious?
You're not.
You're
That was
not.
the thing, is that the Blue Origin PR team was like, you guys need to say something impactful when you guys get back. Like, if you're going to take this free trip up to space, you got to say something impactful. That's what she came up with. Don't know who it was. Was that Gail who said, now I'm going to start crying?
Yeah.
Boy, that's the wrong way to go about this. It's they were just looking for something to resonate with people. That wasn't it.
I would have gone. What's the dude from Office Space with the bleep no?
Yeah.
Bleep no, man. You get
See,
punched in the face for that.
Those are the folks that we
Oh,
need to
hell
send
no.
up.
Yeah.
Those are the folks we need to send up into space.
Yeah.
That we need to send up like just run-of-the-mill dudes who may be a little country, but they're going to come back with some bangers.
Grab me the plumber from New Jersey, the farmer from Nebraska, Florida man.
Yeah. And then one flat earther.
Ooh.
Send them up there, because I'm sick of seeing these stories of flat earther builds homemade rocket to prove Earth is flat, dies. It's like, we need to stop with those guys. They're not fit to be building those rockets.
Did you
we
see-
know that. That's odd, farewell.
Did you see the guy that actually like the NASA went and talked to because he built a like no BS rocket?
No.
Like out in some farmland, like in Oklahoma, I think it was.
Mm-mm.
Like the feds showed up because they were like, "How did you do this?"
Those scientists better check their hypotenuses, dude.
Yeah, like they showed up on this dude's door because like it like popped up on their radar, kind of a deal, like literal radar, and they were like, guys, what the hell is this?"
What
But
was his
some,
answer?
I can't remember. This was like 5-6 years ago. But
What in the world is this?
they ended up actually wanting to talk to the guy more about like what he did and how he got to where he did, because there's just like there's math there that is like you have to be a literal rocket scientist to figure out.
There's brilliant people everywhere, man.
It was just some dude in a cornfield, basically.
Yeah.
Like, what in the hell?
Crazy.
Speaking of what in the hell, Rob Manfred has done really good for baseball for the last 2 years. Boy, open mouth, insert foot. We'll get to that next year in Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan. Who doesn't love a little Regulators on Friday?
Losing Michael McDonald.
Gotta hate you.
I can
If
tell
I
you.
have to hear Michael McDonald, I'm gonna shoot this place up.
Mhm.
Paul Rudd, great and 40-year-old virgin.
Fantastic stuff. Not fantastic stuff. Rob Manfred, done so much for baseball. Pitch clock, expanded bases, increased stealing, just
Handling of the Astro situation.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was fantastic. Oh God. Here is a quote from Rob Manfred about fans that are being priced out in LA and Chavez Ravine and how expensive it is to go to a Dodgers game. Rob Manfred says, if local fans are considering Dodgers prices too high, perhaps there's a cost-effective alternative. One of the league leaders in terms of thinking about affordability has been the other Los Angeles team. Number one, they're not in Los Angeles. They're in Anaheim.
Yeah, they are.
That is not a short trip if you are LA-centric. That's a long drive.
Yeah.
If you're an Angelino, as it were.
Well, what are we talking like Portland it can be here?
No, it'll take you probably 45 minutes, but depending on when
Well,
you
I'm
want to
talking
get
like
there,
mileage-wise,
it could
not
take a long
necessarily time.
Yeah, you're talking like in LA, like the way things are. If you've never been to LA, the way things are broken up, it might as well be another country.
Well, it's all just one big gelatinous mob.
But like, is like the distance isn't that far, but the travel time to and fro is.
And it varies.
Yes.
Depending on where the motorcycle accident is that day.
Exactly. And it's like it's not a short little hop, skip, and a jump. It's a commute. And to be fair, Chavez Ravine also a complete pain in the butt because it's at the base of ravine. There's only one way in, one way out.
And it sucks. That's where Olympic baseball is going to be. Everybody's going to experience Dodgers Stadium for the Olympics in 2028.
It'll be fun.
That is the most out of touch thing that I've heard because it's like, all right, okay, so what you're just saying is like Dodger fans become Angel fans because you love baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we love.
And not all of the winning and all of the history in the World Series. And
no, it's an attachment with a team.
Yeah.
That's what makes every sport great. Is everybody loves the team and or the players on the team. He's just saying, will somebody please go and appreciate Mike Trout for us? Because people have stopped. And rightfully so, people have stopped. That is the most out of touch thing that Rob Manfred has said in quite some time. I won't say ever. I won't say ever. But
oh, God, no.
in quite some time, that is the most out of touch thing Rob Manfred has said. He's gotten a lot of wins lately. That is a louse, my
Chop
friend.
that one up on the board.
And he might as well just said, well, I mean, there's other alternatives. Like, I don't know, when they play in Arizona, you can drive there. You can get into Phoenix for an affordable price.
Yeah.
Look,
They're having trouble filling seats in Sacramento.
Wasn't it the Reds owner who said basically if you don't like it, don't come?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Cool.
Spot the lie, dude.
Look, with a stadium as big as Chavez Ravine, it is getting priced out, and it's not good. And here's the thing with Los Angeles sports: when a team is great, man, it doesn't matter what sport it is. Whether it's USC football, whether it's the Raiders went in there in LA, the Lakers, well, not the Clippers. The Clippers still.
Well, Clippers and the Angels.
Man. Yeah, but the Dodgers, like those, when they're good and they're going, I think I've mentioned this before. The Los Angeles Lakers don't have a season ticket department.
No, they don't need one.
They don't need one. They have a experiences department that takes care of the people that spend $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 to sit courtside.
Is it like is that the Disney 23 club or 33 club or something like that? For the people with the
they do they shut everything off, kind of like front of the line for everything. Yeah, the $1 million. And I mean, look, the NBA does this for like All-Star games. It's like there was actually at the Blazers game against the Warriors, there was a group that was I would say that they were very well off from another country.
Okay.
And they were being escorted around the building by like the top security personnel.
Oh, all right.
Everywhere they went, and like it was head to toe matching Balenciaga like one-offs, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what this is. But they wanted to come see Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's
And
usually how it goes,
They
man.
got the full, like I saw him come out of the visitors' locker room, and I was like, what?
Get that experience.
But that's what it comes to, like when you have that kind of team, that kind of player, and that's what Shohei Ohtani is.
But it's not, and it's just not only Ohtani. It's the entirety of the Dodgers
Oh, yeah.
roster and the entirety of their lineup. Like, they're going to price fans out. And look, Rob Manfred would have been better off just saying, look, we understand demand is high for Dodger tickets, and pricing out the average fan is something that we don't like to see. But supply and demand, the supply is low. We can't sell 200,000 tickets for every game. If we could, we would. But we obviously we can't do that. So you got to pick and choose your times to go and watch the Dodgers play. That's way better than saying, hey, if you want an affordable baseball experience, go to the Angels.
Because nobody goes.
No.
That's the worst problem to have.
Yeah.
Pricing people out, it's a problem. And I'm a firm believer in having like 15% of your tickets be affordable every single night.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should be,
Which is what the Clippers have done, and they are having great success doing it this year.
The wall.
And that was before they started playing well. Even at the beginning of the year, the Intuit Dome was actually a vibrant
had life
fan experience because they brought in the average fan again.
And their first playoff game at home is going to be banished to like the True TV network.
That's okay. I'm fine with that.
It's kind of a bummer for them.
We'll be able to watch it. I mean, who cares? Okay, who cares what TV network it's on? If it's a great environment, I'll go and watch some Clippers on True TV, followed by not Impractical Jokers anymore, because apparently they're problematic. But World's Dumbest Criminals or whatever the hell they have on there.
But it always is a bummer when
For sure.
The playoff crowd gets banished. All right, speaking of the playoff crowds, let's pivot over to the NBA basketball and take a look at the series that are out there right now that we know of. Which of these is most prime for an upset? Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Crunch. This update brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Memberships as low as $9.99 per month. Find your Crunch time in Portland, Vancouver, and online at crunch.com. First on The Fan, the 8 seeds for the NBA playoffs on the line tonight at 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami are 1-point favorites. That winner gets the Cavaliers in round one. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, the Mavericks 6-point dogs at the Grizzlies. That winner faces the Thunder in round one. Coverage right here on The Fan starts at 4 o'clock after a turn and burn primetime. Round two of the RBC Heritage, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Justin Thomas, he is 2 under on the day through 16. He remains your leader at 12 under overall. 2 strokes clear of Siwoo Kim and Russell Henley. Andrew Novak and Tommy Fleetwood are at 9 under par. Scotty Scheffler 7 under. In the logjam at 7 under, you've got former Duck Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, and Maverick McNeely. Over on the Diamond, the Mariners continue their road trip. They start a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu on the bump for Seattle. Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV Plus. The Mariners start the day second in the AL West, 2 games back of the Rangers. And the Winterhawks in Everett to face the Silvertips for Game 5 tonight. The series tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. A potential game series clincher, Game 6 tomorrow night, back in Portland at the VMC. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Save the date. Your local Toyota dealers present the 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club on Tuesday, June 24th. Keep it on The Fan for details. Danny Meringue.
I found 2 empty bottles of a particularly decent Chateau Noir Bordeaux 57 in your rubbish.
Dusty Hera.
You went through my garbage?
This is Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app.
I find it particularly offensive that you use them to wash down an order from something called Macho Taco.
And Portland's sports leader, 1080.
I would never drink a Bordeaux with a Macho Taco.
The Fan.
It was a burrito machisimo.
Hour number 3 here on a Friday afternoon on Danny and Dusty, whether you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080am, the fan, or twitch.tv/1080am, the fan. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. We're going to dive into the NBA here real quick. What team, give me one in either conference, that you're most confident can pull off the upset?
Ooh, an upset in
of the team of the group that we know, the non-play-in edition.
Clippers.
Yeah.
Clippers against the Nuggets, because look, you got Bucks Pacers. That's going to be a really tough hill to climb with Dame not being there for at least the first game, potentially probably the first 2 games.
I would say Game 3 is the first potential window.
Pistons at Knicks. That one has some spiciness to it, but it's the been there versus never been there before. And then the T-Wolves and the Lakers, I just think the Lakers are a better team right now. But look, Ant Edwards and the size of Rudy Gobert and having Naz Reid, like, what's going to be the problem for the Lakers? Size will be a problem for the Lakers. But you have Luka and LeBron. They're going to be pretty damn good.
Good luck solving
and
for that.
Playoff Luka, playoff LeBron.
Yeah. I'm literally picking 2 upsets. Well, actually 3, but one of them I won't put in here because it's quasi play-in with Rockets and Warriors. I'm picking the Rockets there. I am picking the Clippers. They're the one team in the West that can match up without having to do a whole lot of junk against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Look, nobody can. There's no such thing as a Jokic stopper in the NBA. Doesn't exist. But as good as they come is Zoo. Zoo is you can, if you go, we're going to make Jokic a scorer, we're going to stay at home on everybody else, and we're going to single cover him, stay out of foul trouble, do what you got to do. It was the Blazers recipe until Nurk lost it.
And he's got his issues, right? But Jamal Murray, he's been good in the playoffs for them.
Number one, his health is going to be a question. And number 2, with the total disarray that the Nuggets are just kind of in. In the Eastern Conference, you mentioned it. It's Pistons-Knicks. Here's something for you. I was talking to a Pistons friend of mine last night, and I was like, hey, man, I'm picking your Pistons to upset the Knicks. And he's like, dude, if they win one game It is a win for me
Mm-hmm.
and for every Pistons fan out there. He goes, you know when the last time the Pistons won a playoff game was? And I was like, when? He goes, 2008.
Whoa.
I was like, good God.
That is so long.
Not a series, a game.
A game.
And I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. It's been that long? It's been almost 20 years since you've won a playoff game?
That's crazy. 17 years.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. When I talk about like purgatory and hell, that's what I mean, man. That's bad. But I look at that Knicks team and how shallow they are and how run down they are with Jalen Brunson not playing. Like everyone's like, oh, Brunson's gonna be fine. I'm like, oh, good thing he got a lot of run up into the playoffs, right? And he looks real healthy. Like he's coming off a devastating ankle roll.
No way. Tom Thibodeau's team not healthy in the most important part of the season.
And the whole idea of like Karl Anthony Towns, I'm like, yeah, he had some good playoff games last year. The totality of his career, he's one of the worst high-profile playoff performers in the history of basketball.
Yeah. It's not good for New York.
No.
I'm sure the New York fan base will handle it well.
Oh, yeah, did totally well. But I look at that and I go,
irrational.
I don't know, man. This is really what you're trusting? But I think we are in line for a very, very, very good playoff series. Just across all of the NBA, with the exception of the play-ins.
But it's going to have intrigue to it. I mean, there's a 7 seed that is currently favored
over
a 2 seed.
In the Warriors and Rockets.
Yeah. That, to me, is a sign of the play-in effective.
Yeah.
And you've got the 82-game schedule has played out, and it's been done a really good job of seeding these teams.
And it's going to be really funny when if the Rockets win, how many people are like, oh, yeah, no, everybody saw this coming.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
they won 52 games.
That it'll be the reverse psychology of it all. It's like, oh, yeah, no, this was expected because everybody's picking the Warriors.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know about this. All right, when we come up next, we got to get to a note that came out of college football that is going to have a massive, massive impact on what college, not in college football, what college sports is going forward. Danny and Dusty, 10 The Fan. We will keep cataloging and tracking all of the changes and cases and everything else that comes around as it pertains to college sports. This one might have quite literally the biggest impact, as a federal judge in New Jersey is considering striking down the 5-year eligibility rule for college athletes.
Ruh-roh.
And the reason why is because, as we've argued about, well, we haven't argued, we've agreed on this, but we've debated this, there's no standing for it to exist. There's no grounds on which this can legally be based. The problem is everybody was so afraid of the NCAA for so long that everything has gone unchallenged. And after the one, kind of open link in the armor was exposed, everything's up for game, and the house of cards is coming crashing down.
Well, when the NCAA lost its ability to penalize institutions due to fairness and the athletes, it all went out the door. It is not NIL. It is not the transfer portal. No. It is that the NCAA lost its power to penalize with infractions, because a lot of the things that they used to penalize schools for have now become legal. And when they would try to do like the ham sandwich thing, and that was the most egregious thing in the NCAA's bylaws, is that you could have bread, you could have meat, you could not make a sandwich for the student athlete.
Yeah.
Like that's how they were operating before. Now it is in a situation where they can't hand down any penalties. They've been neutered in that realm, and the players have gotten more empowerment. But Diego Pavia won a ruling where he just said, fine, you guys can't just say no anymore. We'll get a lawyer, and we'll just take you to court and see what the courts say. And that was the worst thing, because if the NCAA was ever challenged previously in the courts, they would have lost there too. But nobody ever just did it. It was just like, oh, well, they said we can't, so I guess we can't.
We had the first NIL case of UCLA player. I always forget his name.
Ed O'Bannon?
Ed O'Bannon. And that thing went on and on and on and on, and it didn't get resolved for almost, 20 years?
Yeah. But then the Diego Pavia saying, the NCAA can't tell me that when I played junior college football that was NCAA.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't playing in the NCAA. How do they have jurisdiction? And a judge ruled in their favor. Well, now a New Jersey federal judge in New Jersey is strongly considering saying the NCAA has no power to tell athletes whether they played in junior college, NAIA, Division III, Division II, or anywhere else, including Division I, that a 5-year window for your eligibility is fair. And that could open up infinite eligibility. And there's a lot of guys, and everybody's saying, oh, this is horrible for football and basketball. You're going to start seeing people in the sports where you can't make money in them professionally afterwards sticking around forever. Because if you don't have the ability to be a high earner in, say, American track and field,
sure,
why wouldn't you just stay in college, right? And continue to train with the coaches you've trained with, still get a continue education, whatever form that looks like, continue to have meal table and get NIL opportunities, but continue just run out of college.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not a person that's going to be in the world of track and field,
it's a short window.
There ain't a lot of people that make the big bucks. Yeah. You got to be the fastest person in the world at your given race, or throw the farthest, or jump the highest or longest, in order to be the person who's making significant money at that sport. And you could still make a good living, still have your endorsements, and compete in the Olympics and being a college athlete, or volleyball, or field hockey, where there is no professional field hockey. Professional lacrosse is not a sport where it's very lucrative.
Yeah.
And so you could just hang out, stick around, continue to play at the highest level that is possible here in the States, and make a decent chunk of change doing it.
And this is when we had Eric Ainge on the other day. This is when I asked him about the whole Nico situation and the market kind of doing what it's supposed to do. And this feels like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It was like, there's not enough guardrails. And I agree with you. There needs to be some guardrails on this stuff. But the whole idea of it being a free market is that you can't put caps on it. And this is a cap. And the only way you can put a cap on this is to collectively bargain this. And you are not going to get, how many college athletes are there in a given year around the country? Is it like 300,000 or something like that? It's an insane number.
Yeah.
And that number is going to change every single year. So you're not going to be able to collectively bargain how many years somebody can stay in college and participate in sports.
And
you just can't.
You mentioned, like, Ainge is a perfect example of this. He was a damn good college quarterback. 5th round pick, never really played in the NFL, was Mark Sanchez, Brett Favre's backup, right? If he would have had the ability to stay for another year, continue to grow,
And probably
continue
get
to develop,
$4 million at Tennessee.
get some more money. Like, those are the guys. Like, Dylan Gabriel's a great example of this. Dylan Gabriel and Bo Nix, great examples of this. Those are guys that when their 4 years or their 5 years of eligibility were up, you're sitting there and you're looking like, I don't know. There's a lot of guessing. What Bo Nix was able to do was come back, continue to play, and turned into a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel ended up guiding an undefeated regular season, number 1 team in the country. And where's he going to get drafted? He's going to be a day 3 draft pick.
Probably 4th or 5th round draft pick.
Right? If there's the ability for these guys to continue to play, they're going to take it.
Yeah, because the money is a 4th or 5th round draft pick as opposed to probably getting $2.5–3 million to stay at Oregon.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see kind of what some of those guys would do. You know,
and it's across like, and look, the quote unquote scary part of this is the who's the McCormick, the tight end,
Cam
McCormick. You talk about like a 27, 28-year-old staying around, like then you're talking about a grown man playing against 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and like. Yeah, that's.
I mean, I'm not...
the part of this, but the other part of this is like, do some of these smaller schools keep some of these guys around longer because they don't have the ability to do that?
That's where I think it would be great.
Yeah,
like at the Power 2. I don't know. I don't outside of like the quarterback position. I'm like, no, there's beauty in the revolving door after 3 to 4 years. You're like, damn, he did a really good job. Now it's time to watch him spread his wings and go. But if you're going to the smaller levels, if you're going to those group of 5, if you're talking Maction, and Maction is able to hold on to guys, well, then they wouldn't, because the first sign you're really good, you're gone.
Yeah.
But those tweener kind of guys, but they stick around for another year, that'd be interesting.
Now all of a sudden this continuity and this grown man, bond, as it were, do those schools maybe have more sustainability?
Yeah, I don't think that this is for the best to have unlimited eligibility. I really don't. I think that there comes a time where in college sports, it's like, dude, move on. We all know this. You walked around a college campus, you were like, that guy's still here? What are you doing here? Like, why are you here? Not that I was that guy. I was. But
you were a doctor, but you had a bachelor's.
Yeah, you're like, what? What? He's still here? But I think that moving on, but here's the reality, is that the reason why this has legs and it likely will happen is because universities don't want to consider athletes employees. If they're not employees, you cannot collectively bargain with them. And until you can collectively bargain and tell the athletes, hey, you have 5 years or you have 6 years, that's never going to fly in the courts. The courts are going to say, who are you to sit there and tell somebody they can't earn money and when they won't have the opportunity to do it elsewhere? No, you can't do that.
No, you can't. But you know what we can do?
Yeah, what?
It's Friday afternoon at 2:30-ish, which means it's time for Jeff Russ, America's #1 game show. We'll get to that next. That's the Big Kahuna himself here at the Sports Center Update.
I hear they got some tasty burgers.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad weather, the golf course is always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today to get all the latest news and specials. First on The Fan, the 8 seeds for the NBA playoffs on the line tonight. 4 o'clock on TNT and Max. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami are 1-point favorites. The winner gets to face the Cavaliers in round 1. Then at 6:30 on ESPN, it's the Mavericks. They are 6-point dogs at the Grizzlies. That winner faces the Thunder in round 1. Coverage right here on The Fan starts at 4 o'clock after a turn and burn edition of Primetime. Round 2 of the RBC Heritage, a signature event at Harbortown on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. And at the top of the leaderboard, you've got Justin Thomas. He finished his round with a 2 under 69. Nice. That leaves him at 12 under overall. He's 2 strokes clear of Siwoo Kim and Russell Henley. Andrew Novak and Tommy Fleetwood are 3 strokes off the pace, at 9 under par. Scotty Scheffler, 8 under. And then you've got former Duck Wyndham Clark, Colin Morikawa, and Maverick McNeely all at 7 under par. Over on the Diamond, the Mariners continue their road trip, starting a 3-game set at the Blue Jays. Brian Wu on the hill for Seattle. Bowden Francis for Toronto. 4:07 first pitch on Apple TV+. Elsewhere in the Bigs, it's a wild one at Wrigley Field. Over the course of an inning and a half, 21 total runs scored. The Cubs scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th, and at the top of the 8th, the D-backs cross 10 players across the plate, and in the bottom half of the 8th, another 6 Cubs cross the plate. So that is, again, 21 runs between the two teams over the course of an inning and a half. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Save the date. Your local Toyota dealers present the 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club on Tuesday, June 24th. Keep it on the Fan for details.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medication
It's 2:30-ish on a Friday afternoon, which means it's time for Jeff Russ, America's #1 game show. Jeff Russ, take us away.
All right, so the NBA playoff 8 seeds, they're going to be decided tonight. First up, 4 o'clock tip on TNT and Max. We got coverage right here on The Fan. That also starts at 4 o'clock after a quick turn and burn edition of Primetime. I'm sure Isaac and Suk are very upset about that. It's the Heat at the Hawks. Miami, 1-point road favorites. The winner faces the Cavaliers in round 1. So, against the spread, again, that is a 1-point game. Miami, 1-point favorites. Against the spread, Heat or the Hawks.
I'll take it. I'm going Heat. I'm going Heat because their culture is so good, Danny.
Yeah, no, I want to say Heat, but I don't know how much they want this.
If they come out in the Miami Vice jerseys, that's one thing.
I don't. It's very much a who wants this. Who wants to be the sacrificial lamb? Like that's.
Yeah,
I can tell you what the
to get their arses whipped by the Cavaliers.
I know one damn thing. Eric Spoelstra won't roll into a game to just
definitely
lay down
not.
and die. So that gives me.
And Trae Young's already checked out of one game, so yeah, I'll go Miami.
I do know that about Eric Spoelstra from the old days at the Western Athletic Club across from Jesuit High School.
I will tell you this: the
Keep
Cavs
backing down.
Yeah, well,
Drop step
on the tennis courts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
the Cavs definitely want to see the Hawks. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying.
So we got the nightcap, 6:30 on ESPN, also right here on The Fan. Mavericks, 6-point road dogs at the Grizzlies. This winner goes on to face the Thunder in round 1. So again, against the spread, Mavericks, 6-point road dogs. You got the Mavericks or the Grizz.
I'm going Mavs. I'll take the Mavs to cover 6.
Mavs.
That's in fact, I think the Mavs might win outright. I mentioned it earlier in the show. The Memphis Grizzlies have to decide whether or not they really want to win this game and go take on the Oklahoma City Thunder because John Morant got an injection in his ankle yesterday.
Even if they want to win, John Morant is limited.
Yeah, and there's a real meaning to this because they traded away a lottery protected pick. They win this game and they go play the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will be giving up a first round pick to the Washington Wizards that they dealt off to trade away Marcus Smart.
Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit more involved with the other playoff series that are coming up this weekend. We got 4 already decided series tomorrow, and then 2 on Sunday with the other 2, they'll be decided tonight. So let's predict how many games it will take to clinch a spot in the conference semifinals. Every single series so far has an over-under of 5.5, with DraftKings taking the under on only one series. So we'll start with tomorrow's games. Pacers hosting the Bucks. Damian Lillard out for at least game 1, recovering from deep vein thrombosis. This series, Indiana minus 165 to win, Milwaukee plus 135. DraftKings says to take over 5.5 games. What do you guys got? Over or 5.5 games?
Over.
I'm going to say over. This feels like a 6-game series.
At minimum. And look, there's actually some nice animosity between these two teams too, which is actually a series I'm looking forward to because of how chippy it's gotten so many times. Remember, there was Ballgate about Giannis and the game ball last year, and there was the not the play-in, but the in-season tournament where they had their beef. Like there's actually some juice to this matchup. I like it.
Buddy stuff.
Yeah, the Dame time taunt.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
I'm here for
it. Clippers at the Nuggets. Vegas looking at this one as an even series. Both teams somehow minus 110 to win, and they have the over at 5, and they have the over on 5.5. So over or under 5.5 games for Clippers Nuggets.
I would say over, but I think there might actually be an implosion on Denver's side. I think this might go. As crazy as this sounds, I think the Clippers might steamroll them.
I'm going to go over just because matchups and
the
Clippers going to have to go up to altitude, which is always a tough thing for anybody in the playoffs. And, yeah, Nikola Jokic.
There's just so much dysfunction around that. I'm gonna go contrary here. It's probably I'm gonna look stupid for it, but I'm gonna take the under.
Oh, so for
Clippers in 5.
Clippers in 5. All right. Moving on. Pistons at the Knicks. New York minus 400. Detroit plus 310. And again, DraftKings says over 5.5 games. What do you got? Over or 5.5 games?
I'm going over, and I'm going with the Pistons in this. I like the young, sparky Pistons. They're fun to watch. Look, New York is beat up. Jalen Brunson is worn down. This is a Tibbs special, and I know they had a great run last year, but I'm going to go with the young upstarts in Detroit.
If I'm not mistaken, the Detroit Pistons played the most clutch games of any team in the league. It was, oh no, they got passed up just barely by the Timberwolves and Warriors. They had more than half of the Pistons games, 44 games were decided in the clutch. This series is going 7. I'm taking the over and I'm taking the Pistons. And I am really excited to watch this series.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised at the New York minus 400 versus plus 310.
That's
that seems
capitalizing
like a
on the
big
New York
gap.
market. That's capitalizing on the market, 100%.
Timberwolves at the Lakers. LA minus 195, Minnesota plus 160. DraftKings again has this over 5.5 games. So over
Or
under 5.5 games for T-Wolves Lakers.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna take the Lakers.
Under Lakers.
Under. 4-1, huh? Gentlemen's sweep.
Gentlemen's sweep.
All right.
Luka.
So we each have one LA team getting a gentleman's sweep.
Luka and LeBron.
Yeah.
Sunday
Enough said.
evening, the Warriors at the Rockets. Golden State minus 190, Houston plus 155. DraftKings again. Over 5.5 games, they say. Are we catching a theme here? Over
or
under 5.5 games for Warriors Rockets. And again, I mean, the Warriors technically should be the underdog, but they are
They
favored.
are the favorite.
Over.
Yeah, I'm taking over in the Rockets. I think this is one because of the lack of consistent offense. It's going to be how many times can the Rockets pull them down in the mud? How many times can they pull them down in the mud? And two of the biggest factors in this series, it's not Steph, it's not Jimmy, it's not the wings for the Rockets. It's Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün. They have played 129 minutes together.
God dang.
They have a 71% offensive rebound rate.
That's good.
How is it that Steven Adams continues to just move around and be as good as he is, but still just basically be an anonymous player in the NBA?
It's his hair.
He's
power of his hair.
Yeah, I'd say it's just the power of Steven Adams.
He's just he's out there. He's a professional wrestler out there, and he's fantastic at what he does. He's
and
great.
everybody is terrified of him.
And he just moves around all the time, but you don't ever hear about him. Finally, the Magic at the Celtics. These odds. Hold on to your seats here.
Plus 5,000.
Are you ready? Boston minus 5,000. Orlando plus 1,600. This is the only series DraftKings says under 5.5 games. Over
or
under 5.5 games for Celtics Magic.
Under, obviously Celtics, but here's the thing. The Magic, they play the slowest pace in basketball. I looked at this yesterday. The difference between the number one pace team in the NBA and the Magic on the season was 600 possessions over the season. Okay, and on a given night, you're talking about 103 possessions, I believe was league average. Just put that into context, the difference of it's not 5 or 6 a night. It's an insane number. They're going to pull the Celtics down in the mud. They'll get one because the Celtics have an off 3-point night and in the mud, but this is a gentleman's sweep, 4-1.
Hey, something to note, though. Do you know the Boston Celtics record this season against the Orlando Magic?
2-2. 1-3?
1-3.
Oh.
Actually, 1-2.
I believe
they
I
only
saw
played
something.
3 times.
I believe I saw something the other day that said the Blazers went 4-0 against the Magic and the Hawks.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Playoff team.
East versus West.
Yeah.
Watch out.
There you go.
Oh, and also for this series, can we turn this into an AC/DC song? Under.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Under.
Yeah, it's
only if you sing it exactly like that.
Just like that?
They were 1-3 was the record this year. They lost 108, 104, 121, 94 they won. And then they lost on April 9th to the Magic, 96-76.
Yeah, you noticing the scores there?
Yeah.
Getting pulled all the way down the mud.
121-94 is kind of...
That's a little...
Well, that's an arse whooping.
Yeah.
Yikes, dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that is our NBA playoffs edition for this week's
That was the game. Wasn't that the game that they went...
I think they rested guys.
17-37, the 121-94 game. The Celtics went 17 of 37 from 3. That's okay. That's a pretty good day.
Yeah, not too shabby.
That's a good day.
All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Ross, which you can find every Friday afternoon around 2:30-ish. Coming up next, we're going to wrap today's show with Mike Leach, the innovator. There is a rumor taking the internet by storm. What is the most bat-ass crazy thing you could think of that Mike Leach would be like, I don't know, maybe we should try this? We'll get into that next year on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan. I don't care about the authenticity of this. There is a rumor currently circulating that Mike Leach, at one point in time in one of his brainstorming sessions where there are no wrong answers, thought about taking a little person into the backfield and throwing them over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, in short yardage situations.
And this is I don't know, why couldn't you do it? And I immediately went to, I can never remember, it's like Habthor, the Icelandic strongman, like 6'8", like 400 pounds. Like, put that guy in the backfield, have little person hammer throw him over the line. Like how, like you basically turn a human into a discus.
Yeah. Now, there are several issues with this in that it's not legal at all.
I mean, it's just the evolution of the tush push.
Because the aiding of the runner rules are that you cannot grasp, pull, or lift in aiding a runner. You can push as long as you don't grab.
But what if you put two hands on the tush and you push and he's just so light that he lifts?
Then you're lifting him.
But you didn't actually lift.
No, but you're actually lifting him.
Yeah, we need a physicist
now,
on this.
there is a way that you can kind of break this down. Like, if you want to go, like, into Mike Leach's mind on this, he's like, well, I think the way we can make this happen is if the little guy, he runs up and he jumps up into the air and we have him just land on the guy's hands and he just kind of tosses him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He didn't lift him.
No.
Because the little guy jumped up into his hands and he didn't grasp him as long as the hands are flat.
It's like the stunt team, hands flat.
And then you just kind of shot put him over.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could call that lifting. I think the officials would probably say it.
Well, I mean, you might be able to turn Justin Fields into a useful quarterback at that point.
Now, if this is fake...
Nobody? Nothing?
I don't think that we are... don't do this to a dead guy who can't even defend himself.
I don't think he would defend this. I think he would be right on brand with this.
He would have been like, well, there's several things that are wrong with it, and there are. Because it's like, how do you do this? I'm looking at this and like, you can't just sit there and just say, all right, we're just going to throw him over the top. Because I think initially what everybody thinks is you just grab him by the back of the jersey and whoop.
I'm thinking full on hammer toss, like a full spin.
But is this like a read play where you're trying to figure out where he where the weak spot is and then you toss him over?
Yeah, do you go over center? Do you go over guard or tackle?
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a read play.
Direct snap to
Are
the
we talking
back.
a sweep?
Yeah. But just run to the outside and just throw him as far as you can forward. I mean, and obviously the big one to stop this would be, I don't know, like Troy Polamalu type player coming over the line of scrimmage is meeting him midair. Don't think that'd go well.
Yeah, just splitting him in half.
Nope. Now, what does the runner do? Like, if you throw him, are you like, all right, you need to like get your legs running in the air to where, like, if nobody touches you, hit the ground, you just take off, bud.
It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
But I mean, center of gravity, man. Like that's got to be difficult.
The amount of discussion that this had immediately, like, you're like, oh, they just dismissed that. There's so many things that you can think of how this actually happens, though.
Well, not just that, but like now you think about, you can't lead with the crown of the helmet. You can't launch at a player. Like, so like,
and then again, like, are you then launching him? Right? You literally are. I mean, there's a lot of flaws in this.
Like a potato cannon?
It is a very good thing that Mike Leach was talked out of this.
I don't
Somebody
think
would
it
have
was.
died. Somebody would have died.
For science.
Well,
yeah.
now,
and the game.
Here's the thing, too, is that we all, like, we don't know Mike Leach personally, but we know about his proclivities.
Yeah.
Right? And Mike Leach was a different sort of dude. Where on the hierarchy of Mike Leach's crazy, insane ideas do we think that this falls?
Oh, this is
understanding
mild.
that we probably don't know a bunch more of
This
them.
is mild.
Oh, he had a lot.
This is low on the spectrum, I think.
But
This is the Taco Bell mild sauce. It's not the picante.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting there like, dude, you can't do this.
And he's not saying no. He's saying, well, why?
Yeah, he's just looking, and this was the thing about Leach, is he always wanted to explore what avenues he could gain an advantage of.
Yeah. How can I take advantage of the rules?
This one's quite the thought.
I love the idea of like a GA, like running around campus trying to find the smallest person possible to implement this with.
Adjacent to this, Banks Braves JV team had one of the smaller players hop on the back of a big lineman and run towards the line of scrimmage. That was aiding the runner. That was penalized.
I don't know how I did not foresee you relating this to one of your personal football stories.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, he hopped on the back of the lineman, and the kid was like, yes. And it was an immediate penalty.
Come on, Shrek.
You cannot do that. Did not.
Only in banks, right?
Did not land well. No, it was taken from somewhere else. It was from the internet.
It was adopted.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for us today. Up next, you got 1 hour of power. These guys, if you want to hear what mailed-in radio sounds like, these guys are here for 1 hour, and they're going to fill that time.
They'll fill that hole
to the best of their advantage. It's Isaac and Suk. Prime time next on The Fan.
Bye.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Like an improv conversation. Improvisation.
Check out The Fan. Fan.
Who is the yacht rock of the NFL?
Are you kidding me?
An Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Brian Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan on the hardwood tonight, the final NBA playoff play-in games in the Eastern Conference. The Heat and Hawks will do battle for the 8th seed and the right to play 1-seed Cleveland in the first round. Tip-off from Atlanta at 4 o'clock tonight on TNT. The Hawks are favored by 1.5 In the Western Conference, the Grizzlies and Mavericks do battle for the 8th seed and a series with the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. Memphis star Ja Morant dealing with an ankle injury he sustained in the previous game against the Warriors. He's expected to give it a go, though he may be limited. That one tips from Memphis at 6:30 on ESPN. The Grizzlies are 6-point favorites. And on the diamond tonight, the Mariners north of the border visiting the Blue Jays for game 1 of a 3-game set. Brian Wu gets the ball for the Mariners' first pitch from Toronto at 4:07. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The inside story on the Blazers, Ducks, and Beavers. Danny and Dusty.